Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now you may have noticed there's something a little different in today's Pick 5. I know, right? I'm working from home. I'm filming in my home office. I've never done this before, and if you're a longtime Pick 5 watcher, you're saying, wow, I'm so used to seeing your office setting. This is totally different. Oh yeah, and this. This is like a live human baby. Like, who in the world gave me this thing? I can't believe someone trusts me with this. Yes, this is my son, Duke. Cool name, right? And I'm at home. I'm filming this from home. I had no other choice. But you know what? Sometimes I actually get more work done at home than in the office because people aren't knocking on your door every 15 minutes to ask you a question about real estate. That's my dog, too. Anyways, let me go find something to do with this, and I'll be right back. I'm sure the baby will be fine. Anyways, yeah, so filming from home today, and I thought it's kind of cool because this is where I do a ton of my work basically every night from 9 o'clock till midnight. Sadly, or happily, this is where I am. Funny story, for those of you that read my blog and watch my videos, I talk about how odd I am and that I collect swords, which are over there. My wife was having a play date with her mom friend, and the little boy, 3 years old, came out with one of my swords, daggers, knives, whatever you want to call them, and the mother was just absolutely aghast. And she said, "What the hell is that?" "Oh, my husband, he must have come out of his office. I thought I closed the door." And she, of course, said, "Why does your husband have swords?" It's a fair question, you know. I've got a daughter. Daughters don't care about that sort of thing. Downstairs, I've got hockey cards. You know, they're this big and they're on the wall and they're in little holders. And sure enough, a friend of mine said, "What are you going to do with all this stuff when, you know, your son is like 3 or 4 years old?" I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because it's the first thing he's going to grab and throw." Sure enough, we had a little boy over here in the basement the other day, buddy of mine's kid, 3 years old. The first thing he did was go and grab my Gem Mint 10 Jean Beliveau 1963. Pains me to say, he threw it on the ground. It's in a holder, encased in plastic forever. But what if the holder gets damaged? Anyways, guys, enough about that. I did think it was kind of funny. But let's talk real estate. So, fun idea today. I wanted to look at a type of property in a specific location that maybe some people can't afford or can't get without making significant trade-offs. Real estate's all about trade-offs. Real estate's all about identifying what you want and then figuring out what you can actually do without. So I'm going to show you a listing. This is 53 Eaton Avenue. Now, as you can see, it sold for $500,000 over list. Now, what is and where is 53 Eaton? Well, it's an awesome location, just north of the Danforth. Prime Jackman is in here. Streets like Browning and Fulton and Arundel and Neelan. Prime Plater is in and around here. So between Pape and Dawnlands, you've got Muriel, Eaton, you've got Woodycrest, Langford, Dewhurst. These are really good streets. Proximity to Danforth is amazing. This is literally steps to Danforth, but not so close that you can feel the subway. And as you know, Pape and Danforth is probably the intersection you want to be at. So the house itself, it's detached. It's a 3-bed, 4-bath. It has a main floor family room. Now, as you can see, age 16 to 30. So this is a house that was probably built in the late 80s, early 90s, right? Or let's say probably 90s. So does it have amazing curb appeal? No, not really. But is it a house that has had how many different owners with how many different pieces of electrical and plumbing and etc. all mishmashed together? I mean, that's what you're looking for in a house that's not brand new, but sort of in between. So $2 million to be on Eaton. Now I want to show you 262 Bain. So this is a semi. It's 3-story, and it's in prime Riverdale. Sold for $1,760,000. This was 2 days ago. $1,760,000. So again, we go to the map here, and where are we? We're in prime Riverdale, right? We're in the right school district. So if we're on the other side of Pape, we would be in Blake, which we don't want over here. We are a stone's throw from Withrow Park. But guys, okay, this is what? This is a semi. This is a semi. It's a 4-bedroom semi for $1,760,000. So the idea today is I want to show you 5 new builds or relative new builds that are further north, that are in and around the same price point. And so as with all of my ideas for Pick 5, this idea came about because I've got a certain client who, you know, and the crazy thing is they didn't even say, we want to be in prime Riverdale. It was kind of like, oh, you guys are looking for a 4-bed detached and you happen to live somewhere on the east side. That seems like the natural next step. But you know what? I thought about it. And if you go north of Mortimer, there is a hell of a lot of value in new builds or relatively new builds. So let's do this. Let's start here with 53 Northbrook. So the first thing I want to look at today is beds, right? Because there's a big difference between a 3-bed and a 4-bed. Then we're going to look at lot size. And eventually I'm going to run the listing history and I'll show you exactly what's up with this. Most of these are going to have private drives. Most are going to have main floor family rooms. So we've got a 32-foot lot. Again, 32 feet, you're not getting that in Riverdale. And if you're getting that in Plater, it's on one of the prime streets. So we've got 1.7 million. And there's no offer date on this. This is 1.7 legit. It's not selling for 3 million, it's 1.7. It's a 3-bed plus 1, which we know is in the basement, and a 4-bath, 32-foot frontage. Private drive, 3-car parking, doesn't have a garage. We've got a main floor family room. Actually, to be honest, I think this is the one that's got the faux family room. Yeah, look, family in the lower. So it doesn't have the family. Now, where is 53 Northbrook? Well, it's a little closer to O'Connor than maybe we would like, but all these streets between Donlands and O'Connor are not really all the way to O'Connor, but look, north-south, 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 intersected by plains. This is where there's a ton of bungalow stock, which are now being developed into larger... Yes, honey. By the way, he was crying, so I had to. But yeah, they're now being developed into large McMansions, if you will. So over here, between Broadview and Donlands, east-west, 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 right? So we got Gowan, we got Floyd, we got Westwood, we got Kings Park, we got Salmon. Then as soon as you go to the other side, north-south, north-south. So there is a ton of development in here. And for those of you that want a big home, you want a big home. I got a 32-foot lot. It's basically brand new. Perfect. I don't want a Riverdale semi. I want it detached, and I want it big, and I want it new. This is for you. So we'll take a look here. And again, to each their own, right? In terms of curb appeal, this is that modern California style, whatever you want to call it. Here you can see is exactly what I'm talking about. Bungalow, McMansion, bungalow. So topped up, and on the inside, you're going to see this same layout over and over, right? We got one step up. We got a living room. We've got a 10-foot ceiling, which is great. And we've got... it looks like dining off to the back. So layout here, right? I would expect to see living, dining, then kitchen, then family. This is missing the one room. And it's what keeps this one, in my opinion, from being that no-brainer move up. So again, you can see with the glass and steel staircase, they're doing it in a more modern look. Check this out. Kind of a neat touch, right? Instead of just having a wall here, they've got that kind of gas fireplace you can see through. So, it's not my taste necessarily. But for a lot of folks, it definitely is, right? So this is where I'd expect to see the main floor family room, and this is where they've put the dining room. So they're $1.7 million. They're only a 3-bed. They didn't stage, which is a mistake. But for $1.7 million, I mean, what does this thing cost to build, right? You can't go wrong with this. You want a 3-bed, you want a 4-bath. Look at the basement. Again, I'd rather have a separate laundry room, but it's split level. So they've built this up off the ground. So this is above grade. And this is your basement. So it's not a lower level per se. It's like half, right? Check this out. A lot of natural light coming through. I like when they don't try to do hardwood or laminate downstairs. I like broadloom in the basement. It's warm on your feet. So there's the extra bedroom in the basement. Bathroom. And a lot of footprints going to where they took this photo from. So yeah, it's a bit of a stucco box from the outside. And from the front, may or may not be your cup of tea. But it's $1.7 million. Now, where has this thing come from? Well, holy cow, guys, take a look. $871,000 for the bungalow. So this was exactly what we'd expect to find in this area on both sides. And this was sold in May of 2018. So I showed you on each side there's a bungalow now. Someone bought this, they spec'd on it, they built it up. So we were at what? $1,829,000, $1,789,000, $1,699,000. Now we're at $1,699,000. Where am I looking? I'm used to the camera being up there at the office. So yeah, $1,700,000. They paid $871,000 for the bungalow 2 years ago. What did it cost them to build this house? Minimum $600,000, right? They're already in for $1,481,000. What's the profit margin in there? How long have you held it? What was land transfer tax? What are you paying your real estate agent? That's what I meant by the fact that I alluded to this. Actually, I thought about it in my head because I'm not all there, as you can tell today. The words didn't come out of my mouth, but it's almost like you're getting this built for free at $1.7 million. You pull this thing for $1,650,000. I don't think they're making any money on this. Wow. Okay, let's move on. So the next one here, we're at 61 Virginia. So as you can see, it's a very different look from the front. This is a 25-foot lot. And what bugs me about this is that there's a built-in garage on the main. I don't know with a 25-foot lot. Can you hear that? Making those cute baby noises. I didn't plan this. I thought he would sleep and I'd be able to do this. The life of a real estate agent. So it's a 25-foot lot. Here we've got a 32-foot lot with a private drive, right? So you've got a private drive going all the way to the back. And here you've got 7-foot narrower lot, and they've kind of jammed this in here. So there's a split level, as you can tell. This is where you walk in, and this is your main floor. We're going to have a walk up. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Now check this out. There's a main floor family room. Is there? Is there? Is there? Yes. Family on the main. Perfect. It's offers anytime, right? So $1,739,000, 3-bed, 4-bath. Let's take a look. Exactly what I expected when you walk in. Don't love this. We walk in, and because they want to build it up, because they want to fit the garage in, you've got this foyer, and then you've got this elevated living area. Some people love that. I was in a house in Leaside not too long ago, and I was pointing out to the clients I didn't love it. They said that they didn't really hate it. But then you look here. This is your living space, and then down here, you're overlooking your kitchen and your family. Do you guys like that? I don't know. Your car is underneath this. So this is your living, this is your dining. You're walking upstairs, and then down here is kitchen family. So I'm really, really nitpicking on these because there is an idea of the perfect new build. And I'm biased. Yeah, for sure I am. But if I was taking a client to see all these houses, I would say exactly these things. I would be exactly as honest. And look, it's not like these things are the exceptionally rare unicorn. It's not like this is the I'm waiting forever. People are building, people are speccing, people are going to sell. So you take what you like from all of these, you make a decision, and then you try and find that property in the marketplace. So main floor family room. This is what the last one didn't have. These look like 11-foot ceilings, maybe 12-foot, or maybe it's just the camera angle here. I like the kitchen. It's missing the island, which a lot of people would want. It has the peninsula. You can see it's a decent backyard it walks out to. So there you go down to the basement. Again, very modern look here with the glass instead of banisters. So again, they didn't stage it. I think it's a mistake. Listing agents related to the seller, so they know who to blame. So that's your master bedroom. A lot of porcelain faux marble in here, right? Let me put a photo on the wall. I guess it's staging. And these photos are from last summer probably, right? This panel literally looks like an elevator. Think about it. That looks like an elevator. It's a shower. So there you go in the basement, right? We've got nice high ceiling, and that's because it was built up above grade. And there you go. So let me go to the notes here because I want to see if you've got, no, there's no notes here about ceiling height. It just says high ceilings. I want to know exactly how high they are. So look, it says mutual drive. Yeah, that's a mutual right there. That's the irony. And they've built in, what is this? Is this a private drive? No. Is it a front pad? No. Is there a curb cut in front? That would be interesting. That's what I would want to know. You know what? Let me try to do this. Bear with me here. Let's do this. This is the Google Street View. Ah, perfect. So there is a curb cut. So I was going to say, if this curb wasn't cut here, it'd be really tough to call that legit parking. But as you can tell, let's move, that's too far. That's too far. Let's move down here. So what we're looking at is, this is the mutual drive. These people have a 1980s below grade driveway, which you wouldn't get anymore. This, I guess you could almost call a private. You know, to be honest, I'll tell these people, good for you for calling it mutual. Built-in garage for one car, absolutely. You could fit it in there, park one behind it. So that's legit. Nice house, not the great house that I would want if I were looking in this area. Okay, so now this is getting a lot closer. Do any of you think less of me for doing this while holding him? I don't know what to say. Okay, so 196 Gowan. So where are we, 196 Gowan? I didn't show you the map of the other one, but so I said at first Northbrook. We were on these north-south streets that are north of Cosbourne, south of O'Connor. Now we're on these east-west streets. So, you know, not a bad street at all. I don't know that I have a preference. I think for a lot of folks it comes down to what school district are you in, what main drag are you walking down to, but also what's on the street, right? So this is a really nice looking house. Does it bother you that this is like literally half the size, that this brick comes out further and it's stucco. How do you feel about the homogeneous streetscape that doesn't exist here? I guess I should say, how do you feel about the idea of a homogeneous streetscape? I did a blog on this not too long ago, and in fact, you should Google that after if you're interested. How much do you value homogeneous streetscape? So for example, in Leaside, right, very homogeneous. Then you go on the other side of Bayview and you're in Davisville. You might have a semi, then a couple of rows, then a detached, then a small apartment building, right? So do you feel the same way about this house? This is a beautiful, beautiful exterior. So here we have a 25 by 150. It's a deep lot. We've got a 4-bed plus 1 5-bath, $1,779,000 on the market 37 days. Interesting. Okay. So we walk in, and again, you see this, right? Because you've got the garage on this side. So again, you walk up, and you're going to have that living dining, right? And they've staged it, and there's some interesting staging here. So you've got that living dining, and then you've got kitchen family. So I like the layout. I don't care for these stupid polka dots. I don't like the black island. Brutal. Oh. Yeah, I mean, geez, interesting. Wow. So this is your living, and ordinarily this would be your dining, but they have put dining here. Or maybe that was just a bad camera angle. Yeah, you know what it is? This is a long angle lens. It's not this big. It literally looks like you could put a dining room table there. It's just poor photography. Yeah, so they've put the dining over there. Okay. So we're not quite getting it yet, in my opinion, right? This is not exactly what I'm looking for. It's closer. Ensuite, walk-in. Perfect. Even the pot lights are super modern, right? See this? Little squares. Can you hear that? I have the same tub in my house. All right, cool. So I'm going through this a little quicker. That's the basement bedroom, right? That's the basement. Again, they've done a laminate downstairs, which I don't necessarily love. They have the walkout, which people absolutely kill for. I don't, because I can go through my house. How much of your backyard does this cut out? I have a very small backyard. I'm poor. I couldn't afford a big backyard. And if I had one of these walkouts, it would take out, I don't know, a third of it. This is interesting. I don't know if it serves much of a purpose, but you know, I'll hand it to them. I will give it to them. I was going to say, this is your porch. Normally that's just dead space. They put a retaining wall in. You know, it's kind of nice. It's kind of thinking outside the box. Check it out right there. So here's your beautiful 150-foot lot. Just awesome. This is what I meant. Look at this tiny, stupid little box here, and look how much taller this house is. So do you care that this is not a homogeneous streetscape? To each their own. Now let's check out the history here. So they paid $648,000 for the Bungie in 2015. Then they listed in the fall for $1,850,000. Now were they higher? Oh my God. $999,000. I remember this one. Who asked me about this? I can't remember, but one of my clients, oh, you know, I know who it was. No. Yes, I think it was. They ended up buying not too far away, but they asked me about this, $999,000, and then they jacked it up to $1,850,000. So just a weird one, right? And then you can see here $1,779,000. So yeah, right? It's better. It's still not the one for me. If I'm really if I'm buying this for myself, let's just say. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. We're starting to hone in on it. Yes, I feel like this is it. This could be the one for me. For me, not for me. All right, 33 by 110, 4-bed, 4-bath, main floor family room, brick front, private drive. Could this be the one? Where is 23 Roblin? Well, now we're almost over at Woodbine. So on the other side of East York Collegiate, EYCI, that is where Russell Martin went to school. I think I ran track against him, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Montreal at one point. But we would have been at the school at the same time. Anyways, who cares? So yeah, that is where the school is. Coxwell, interestingly enough, if you're ever going north on Coxwell, look to your right. It has that kind of like main drag feel in like, I don't know, like the 1950s. You can see like the drive-in, right, at the Hop. You know, go to the malt shop. It's got that old theater there, and it's such a small little strip. I would love to see photos of that from the 1950s. So again, here are our north-south streets, right? Northbrook was over here. We had Gowan down here. I don't think I mapped the third one for us. but we're pushing over towards Woodbine. So I don't know that I notice a huge difference in the desirability of the area. So let's take a look inside the house, because now we're getting closer to what I like. So dining at the back, kitchen, family. They started with this photo. I'd like to see living at the front. There we go, living at the front. There's no step up here. That's the thing that I don't love about those houses, when they try to put too much into it. I want to walk in and I'm on one level. I've got my living, right? There's the foyer. These photos are in the wrong order. Okay, here we go. I've got my living, I've got my dining, I've got my kitchen, and I've got my main floor family. And it's all open concept, okay? I like, it's a little small. This is a 33-foot lot. That's interesting. I know why. I'll come back to that. Okay. Terrible staging. And they hired a company for photos that I won't even get into, but they spam every single agent. Every time you get a listing, you get an email from them. And I got a huge argument with them. Stop spamming me. Unsubscribe. They said, no, it's your job to make sure that this is flagged as junk. They basically set it up so anytime a new listing pops in a treb, it automatically emails them, which I think they shouldn't be allowed to do. So here's your basement family room or rec room, right? It's huge. Master bedroom up top. These photos are out of order. Nice big ensuite bath. I like the finishes. Bedroom, backyard, and here we go. So what I was going to say is this. This is the original bungalow frame. It's a 33-foot lot. If you wanted to go to committee of adjustments, you could build out here, but they didn't do that. They merely built on the existing bungalow frame. So that's why it feels narrow. I mentioned at the back, let's just go to it here, guys. I mentioned at the back that this felt a little bit narrow for a 33-foot lot. 33 feet is big. Well, that's because all they've done is use the original bungalow frame. Now, it makes sense. You're not going to go to committee of adjustments and go through the entire process to be able to build out here, because it'll take you time, it'll cost you a lot of money, and it's probably more profitable to just build this. But now we're starting to see the kind of house that personally I think has a tremendous amount of value if you're comparing to Riverdale and Plater and other areas where, I mean, I showed you the semi on Bain was $1,760,000. This is $1,795,000, and I'm sure you could pull it for less. So they're 11 days on the market. Let's take a look at the history here. They had, this one was suspended, so 20 days in November, and then they're 11 days. So they're relatively new. So you don't see the history here for the bungalow. That means that it would have been bought off market. So what I like about this, from an aesthetic standpoint, yes, I care for the brick, but what I like, it's a 4-bed, 4-bath. I don't think you need 5 bathrooms in a house this size. The other house that had it, they're cramming in way too much. It's not built way up above grade so that it's got a built-in garage that you really don't need. You have a 33-foot lot. Just park your damn cars in your driveway, right? You could park 5 cars in there if you wanted to. Has a main floor family room off the kitchen, and it's all one level. Living, dining, kitchen, family. That's what we want to see. Okay, let's move on to the last one here, guys. So now we're for Derwyn. Now this is where things are going to get really interesting, because it's a 38.5-foot lot. Now it's $2.1 million. So for $2.1 million, I mean, you can get into some substantially better areas. There wasn't 5 properties that were in that 1.6 to 1.8 range, which is why I've included this one, but also just to show you kind of what's happening in the area. So Derwyn, oops, here we go. Here we go, same map. So for Derwyn basically starts right at Cosburn. So you can see, right, it's literally right at Derwyn and Cosburn. Paul's Spaghetti, interesting. So, oops, there we go. So 38.5-foot lot. This house is a monster. Okay, you can see that it backs onto Paul's Spaghetti. Well, it backs onto the commercial that stuff that's here, but it's a big house, right? With that frontage, some people love this blue brick. I had clients buy on Treadway. See, that's the house. That's the nicest house in East York that I've sold. That's the house that I'm trying to think of, right? All one level, nice finishes, massive basement, private drive. And for them, it was like, I think 3 kids. It was a no-brainer. I think they paid, I don't know, $1.6 million, something. Like, you know, now it'd be $2 million because it was one of the best houses in this area, maybe 1.9, I'm not sure. But that's the kind of house that I'm getting at. I'm just happen to be limited by what's available in the market right now. So with a 38.5-foot lot, now we're totally spoiled. Look at the width. Love the design of this. Really, really nice work here. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. I like this. You know what? I wonder if this is the same builder. Interesting. Interesting. Could be the same builder. because it's in the same area. Ooh, let me just go back to that. Okay, what do we have here? Got a huge picture window, and we're looking at what? Someone's house, and is this the commercial industrial? Could be a garage. So I'll show you exactly on the map where it is. Look at the size of this kitchen. This is unbelievable. So hard to get 2.1 million in this area, though. Wow. Wow. Yeah, just gorgeous. Just really, really nice. See, backing onto this, right? Is that a dumpster right there? What a good guy. This feels like the same builder. Yeah. Look at this color, right? That kind of gold-plated or, oh my God, I can't think right now. Basement, great ceiling height. Bedroom in the basement, massive yard. There we go. Okay, so $2.1 million. And we're going to go to the history here. So they paid $1.1 million for the bungalow in February 2017. February 2017 when things were going berserk, right? 38.5 by 125. So let's see. Yeah, $999, $1.1 million, and now this is the first time they're listed. So they're $2,088, but on the market 55 days, no price reduction. So what do we think here? Let's go back to the map, guys. None of these was love, right? We started here up at Northbrook and didn't love the layout. Went over to Gowan, Virginia. Virginia was next over here, and Virginia was just really, really narrow. If we might as well review these, right? Virginia was the 25-foot lot. They tried to cram in the built-in garage here. Gowan, I thought, was a heck of a lot better. Still don't love this big walk up here. Robin, we're getting a lot closer. And Derwyn were at $2.1 million, so the math doesn't quite work for us. So this is where we started, guys, at 53 Eaton. For $2 million, $2 million, you might as well think about, maybe looking at something like this, because this is a much bigger, much newer, debatably better house. But even still, right, $1,779,000, $1,739,000. That's kind of what we're looking at. And if you're going to pay $1,760,000 for a 4-bed, only 3-bath, 18 by 100, that's a semi. Maybe it makes sense to look at a detached in this pocket. So that's my 2 cents. So let's end it there. That's it for me for this week, guys. It wasn't the easiest one to do, I'm not going to lie. Lots of editing and parenting. But I think we made an impactful point. The market's insane right now at every price point, in every area, for every property type. So if you happen to be thinking about getting that 4-bedroom in Riverdale, and it's not exactly what you want because it's a semi and it's a 3-bed with one in the basement, it's a bit smaller, it doesn't have the parking and blah and blah and blah, look at a different area, man. We're at the point now where I honestly think that the price and what you get is coming well before the area, because man is it tough out there. And I think this is a great example of that, comparing these properties, none of which I love, but you get the gist of it. There's something for everyone, and I'm very picky, also for effect for this. But there's something for everyone in this area. You, if you were looking, would find the right property through, March, April, May, etc. And there's just a lot more bang for your buck than there is in Riverdale. Now, Riverdale's Riverdale. That's a decision only that you can make. Okay, I'm going to go. Got I don't know what you do. Parent? It's literally luggage for the first 6 months. Thanks for watching, guys. I might do it again from here next week because this is pretty darn cool. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.